Sunday, Kobe Bryant would have been 42 years old. And then the following day, on Monday, which was 8/24, out in Orange County in California, that is Kobe Bryant Day out there. And 8/24, of course, why? Because Kobe Bryant, at first he wore number 8 in his career, and then he switched to 24 about halfway through during his 20-year career with the Lakers. So, since a tragedy happened there with Kobe, it's no doubt it's been pretty tough. It's been very tough at times.
Yeah.
Especially for me personally. I know I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to have people feel sorry for me at all, but as we all know, January 26th, that is my birthday. And, to me, that day will always, I will always remember that day for not just my birthday, but because of what happened, just a terrible tragedy that had happened. And Kobe was somebody who I loved. I started watching, the NBA when I was about probably in 5th or 6th grade, because I know I really paid attention to the 2008 NBA Finals when they played against the Boston Celtics. They lost, but boy, that championship matchup was still very much fun to watch. But then the next 2 seasons, though, Kobe and the team came out and won 2 straight championships, one against the Magic, and then got revenge on the Celtics there in 2010. So that's definitely my moments to me that will always stick out to Kobe. Obviously, the 81-point game, that one will always think about too. But more importantly, I think his very last game, dropping 60 points.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Boy, just what a game. For a team like the Lakers, they were really struggling at times, just going through those rebuilding years before they were able to get guys like LeBron, Anthony Davis. Of course, with the draft, they got the D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram before they eventually departed and went to different teams. But to see that the Lakers, though, Kobe stuck with them through the tough times still in order to kind of get the team back to where they wanted to be at. And I think for Kobe, here's a guy that really, not just as a basketball player, but he fought for women in professional sports. He was big on that. Mm-hmm. And I think he really cared about several issues going on today too. And to see him not there still, of course, when fans are allowed back in the Staples Center, when the Lakers do return to Los Angeles, playing there for their home games, it will be weird not seeing them there courtside for some games, cracking jokes to the players, especially to LeBron.
Yep.
I know him and Dwight Howard had some fun moments this year too. We know about their relationship during their tenure there, where Howard's, when he was there for his first stint, was pretty rocky. But I think, though, they came to understand that they really appreciated each other during that time. So Kobe, no doubt, those moments to me will always stick out to me the most. Not just his playing abilities, but also what he meant to off the court as well. Like I said, he was big on women in professional sports. Really said, hey, they can do anything that men can do. And I thought that really that showed what character that he had as well. He cared so much about them. And I think, though, for Kobe, his legacy, he may not be here in person, but no doubt, though, his spirit and his legacy will always not live on with the Lakers, but all around in the NBA as well.
Yeah, obviously, terrible tragedy on January 26th. I remember sending you a text message, and then about 30 minutes later, the news kind of got out, and it was terrible, man. It was just awful. But yeah, I just remembering how good of a player he was, but also how good of a person he was as well, especially towards the end of his career. And he was really, starting to do some good in the world. Obviously, like you mentioned, really big in the WNBA kind of scene. And obviously his daughter Gianna was really into basketball, and a lot of people thought that she could even go pro in the WNBA. And obviously it's unfortunate that we'll never obviously be able to see that from her. But I would say probably my favorite Kobe moment was when he dropped 60. I wasn't, I didn't watch basketball too much when I was growing up, and I didn't really, I started watching, a few years kind of after Kobe was what he was, that elite player, and obviously the injuries kind of plagued him and things like that. But I remember how big of a deal it was because, that was just a regular game against the Jazz, but ESPN actually put it on ESPN2, and the reason why they didn't move it is because the Warriors were trying to break history going for the 73-9 record that year, and they were playing Memphis, and ultimately they did end up winning that game. But I remember I didn't even care about the Warriors game. I just wanted to see Kobe's last game, and it was such a big deal. And he certainly played. Obviously, he got like a lot of shots. I can't even remember, the percentage of makes and misses and things like that. But all I know is he scored 60 points, and what a hell of a performance for a legend. And obviously, it's unfortunate that he's no longer here, and obviously all the victims as well of the helicopter crash are no longer here as well. Just a very sad day. But it's good to kind of remember his legacy and what he meant to the game of basketball, as well as kind of what he was doing the last few years when he was retired.
Absolutely. Seeing the impact that he made off the court, I think, was very special. He not only cared just about basketball, period. He cared about life. He was a great father to all of his 4 kids, a great husband to his wife, Vanessa. And I think it's unfortunate, though, that he's not here still. But no doubt, I think, like I said, he'll always live on in many people's hearts, and especially all around the NBA as well. Definitely, it was a very tough day, but still got to remember the good times, though. That's what it really comes down to, is remembering the good times, because Kobe wouldn't want us to be sad forever. He wanted, talking that deep voice of his and say something sarcastic. So Kobe is always somebody who, 41 years, young. That's just terrible, but. No doubt, I think he'll always live on, though, in many people's hearts, and he'll always He'll always have something special for the Lakers, no matter what. If they do win the championship this year, Kobe's definitely going to be there in spirit, no doubt. It's just been a really fun. Just been very fun. He was very fun to watch, and. That 60-point performance, he shot the ball a lot, but hey, it's your last game. Do what you got. Hey, go all out. Go all out. Who cares? Who cares? 60 points, even if he scored 6 points, who cares? He meant so much to the NBA and to all the fans, to many people in the all around the world as well. And I think, though, he'll always live on in many people's hearts.